Hi, this is Tridip. I recently built my first MCP server. So, what is an MCP server? It's an adapter between an AI model and a service provider. For example, here I was looking through Claude documentation. So, in this example, they are building an MCP weather server. So, the host or AI model would be Claude for desktop, the Sonnet model, and the external service would be the weather server. So basically here they're working with American weather forecast. For example, the API base, this is an American website, so they can only retrieve American cities weather forecast and alerts. But what I did, I changed it a little, and I now get Canadian cities weather forecast and alerts. So I'll show how I did that. So basically, this is Canadian weather MCP server. Like I added new files here. This is the README. So how it works is that first the user, for example me, I give a prompt to Claude desktop that what is the weather in Toronto, Ontario. Claude desktop will receive it and send a request to MCP server. It's like a function call, get Canada weather with the argument is Toronto. So after that, weather.py, I'll show this one later. Weather.py will send an HTTP request asking for a forecast because I specifically wanted what is the weather. So asking for the what is the forecast, not the alert. So it will make an HTTP request to the weather service provider. And I used Open-Meteo. It's a free weather API here. And this one is mainly for Canadian weather alerts. I used these two APIs. I'll show it later in the weather.py. So after the weather service provider get the request, they will process it and send a response to MCP server. It will be an HTTP response with JSON weather data. Then the MCP server will send MCP JSON result to Claude desktop. Claude desktop then give me the answer in a natural language format. So I used these 10 cities in the weather.py. So these are the 10 hard-coded Canadian cities with their coordinates. And here are the APIs that I showed before. And it is using three different tools or function calls, three different functions that can be used for function calls. So for example, get Canada weather, as shown here, get Canada weather. This function gets that city as the argument. So basically it's coming from here. This is the implementation. And then there is another one, MCP.tool, get Canada weather by coordinates. It takes two arguments, latitude and longitude in float format, float data structure. Then it's returning a string. There is a third one that is called get Canada weather alerts. This function takes a city as the input argument and outputs a string. So these are three tools I'm using to get the weather forecast and alerts. And then why to use MCP server specifically? So here I'm showing on the left side, it's the result I'm showing when I prompt weather in Saskatoon. Saskatoon doesn't exist in one of these. It's not one of these cities. So that's a key thing to remember. And here on the right side, it's the online version, Claude online, and I'm searching it. So here it's getting a result of weather forecast of Saskatoon because Claude online has many tools available. They can search through to many weather service providers. So even though MCP server is not exposed here, they can search their like external tools, using external tools and get the result. Here I specifically configured locally that you should only use MCP server that I configured. So since Saskatoon is not in my MCP server, it's gonna say that city Saskatoon not found. So basically, MCP server is like a customized version. Next, why MCP servers matter? This is not like a real use case. This is like a very beginning project, but the real use cases are here. When to use MCP server, like specifically how they're helpful. So for example, if my company's private database, it's protected behind the firewall. So Claude online cannot access my company's private database. So that's why we need like an MCP server. so that Claude desktop can access it and retrieve information that I need. There are other use cases like mainly related to like anything that is private. Claude Online cannot access that private data or server or database. So we need something like MCP. So in this project, to make it work, there are 3 prerequisites. Python, UV is like a Python package manager, and Claude Desktop. We need to have Claude Desktop to configure it. I'll show it later. To install it, basically this is to clone the repository and go to this directory, which I already did. It's here. So I'll show how this is working. Okay, and then we need to install UV. I already did that. So using this, since I already did that, I'll just check if everything is okay. So yeah, UV is detected. And then create a virtual environment. I already did, so I won't do it, but I'll just activate the virtual environment. So it is activated. Now it's the weather environment is there. Then if this is just a debugging step, like if there's an error, then here, this is how to debug. I'll next install dependencies. Okay, all successful. And then I need to configure Claude Desktop. So I need to configure in this file, JSON file. So I'll open this file in Notepad, and I can edit it. This is the file, and the key thing to remember is that we need to add this absolute path of the project. So for example, currently it's this is the one that I'm using, like basically this directory path. And here basically it's saying that the server name is weather, and then what command to use and arguments. So after we configured that, this is what is shown here. The step 3 is we need to quit Claude and restart so that we can add the connector or the MCP server as a connector. So currently it is running. This is the Claude Desktop. We need to quit it from the terminal. Now it went away. Now I can restart it. Okay, so it's restarted. Also, we need to make sure that we sign out of Claude Online so that there is no interference. So this is Claude Online. I'll just need to log out. Otherwise, it sometimes gives error. Okay, so I logged out from here. And I'm only logged in the desktop. So this is the desktop, Claude Desktop, and all I need to do is to add a connector. I already did. So initially it would show something like that, but whether it's not activated, but we can activate by pressing here. And then we can manage connectors. We can see what is happening under the hood. So here are the 3 functions. I can always configure it, like the permissions always allow or needs approval. So these 3 are coming from that weather.py, which is considered the server. So here are the functions. And after that, we can test if our server is running. Okay, so make sure the virtual environment is active first. So to do that, we can just do this. Okay, it means it's successful, no error. And then I'll run the server. I can run it just for testing. Yeah, there is no error, it's running. So this is successful. We can Control-C to escape. Okay. This is the project structure, the file structure, and then here are some debugging steps, some dependencies, how to add new dependencies. Yeah, basically this file, the uv.log has some dependencies, and then pyproject.toml has some dependencies. Next, we will just go through the example prompts. Basically, what happens now when I try to use the MCP server? Let's try it out. Okay, so I'll go to so this is Claude Desktop, and I already tried these different prompts, and these are the results. So let's try it out live. Okay, what is the weather forecast of Toronto, Ontario? and I'll specifically give a context that use MCP only. So it means it's gonna use MCP server, which is already enabled under connector. It's enabled now, and there shouldn't be any error. It should give me all this forecast data. Okay, it's making a request. Okay, it got the result. It's basically showing like step by step. Okay, here. Okay, here are the answers. Okay, it's slightly different because it's generative AI. Every time it tries to generate new content. But when we will try the other ones, for example, what is the weather of Saskatoon? Use MCP server tools only. In that case, it should give like an error, not found error, because I specifically configured 10 cities, and this Saskatoon is not one of them. I'll show the weather.py again. So Saskatoon is not one of them. So it should say that it's not found. Okay, so I'll just say Saskatoon. In Saskatchewan, use MCP only. It should identify Saskatoon city. Okay, so previously it said that unfortunately it didn't get it. Okay, so how it got it now is using external tool, not MCP server tool. It used MCP server, but not the specific function call that I was expecting, which is here. So we have a function call get Canada weather. If it uses this one, it shouldn't get this. Okay, let me try this another prompt. Use only okay, let's see what the answer is. It should say that Saskatoon is not found. Yep, here you go. It doesn't support Saskatoon because Saskatoon is not one of them, one of the cities that I added in the server. The way previously it got the data is using a function called using this function, get Canada weather by coordinates. We can verify it if we write. Okay, I'll write a new prompt where I'll say that use MCP only and use this specific function only. Function call, and I'll also give them what this function looks like, just to be safe. It should give the correct answer now, because yes, it does. Because it's just going through that latitude and longitude. It knows the latitude and longitude. Next, we can try out another prompt. We can try out something that is not a Canadian city. For example, New York City. If we try that, New York City, use MCP only. It should give an error that New York City is not a Canadian city, or it doesn't exist in the MCP server, something like that. Yeah, I'm unable to get the weather forecast for New York City using MCP only. Okay. But if we say that use anything, any other tool, then it should retrieve the information by using external tools, like other than MCP tools, anything that is available online or any other way. Yep, here you go. It got the result. So basically that's the idea of MCP server. Thank you.